Hello all and welcome to this week's video challenge where I attempt to teach you about the absolutely amazing anime known as Demon Slayer. I should note at the start of this video that my words are not binding and are simply my own opinions expressed and should not be taken as fact, as there is a very large passionate fan base for this anime and I have absolutely no intention of pissing them off or having them come after me to kill me because I got a fact wrong. So if you could just sign this little contract here stating that you will not murder me if I get anything wrong, I would really appreciate it. I would also like to point out that getting these images and videos for this project is a giant pain in my rear end, as to do so I have to tediously browse the dark corners of the web to find images and videos that aren't going to cause me copyright issues. For example, on one website I used to get the image of the contract you signed where you swore you would not kill me for getting a fact wrong, I typed in lawyer in the search bar and Michelle Obama showed up. Michelle Obama. So, you know that contract you signed? Yeah, you break that contract, Michelle gonna spank you, bro. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, if you are not yet a dweeb and haven't seen Demon Slayer, there will be spoilers in here, and this is your warning. And you signed the contract. Okay, so starting off, let's get you settled in with a few of the main characters. Apologies beforehand for murdering the names, as I am in fact an Irishman, and pronouncing names for me is pretty much the same as being a Manchester City fan. It's just a shite idea, to be honest. Starting off, we have the main character, and he goes by the name of Tanjiro Kamado. He was a coal burner before the main demon decided to slaughter his family, and I'm not saying slaughter lightly. He really went to town on them, like proper slaughter. The show does not spare on the gore at all. Anyway, Tanjiro discovers his sister is still alive, but is now a demon of sorts, which he has to protect from a demon slayer. The demon slayer respects his bravery and sends him to a delightfully deep-voiced old man for training to become a demon slayer himself, to which Tanjiro agrees so he might find a cure for his sister, the demon. The old man gives Tanjiro a sword and makes him cut a rock in half, and because he managed to cut that rock in half, he can kill demons. Pretty cool stuff, but there is a lot more to Tanjiro than meets the eye. He has a forehead that would put the Hulk to sleep if he collided with it. Not to mention the tenacity he has. Tanjiro is a really cool main character, somebody you can support and get behind and connect with. It's just good stuff for dweebs like myself. Next up obviously has to be his sister, aka my favorite character, Nezuko! The demon, and her name is actually pronounced Nezuko-chan! Anyway, she's the already mentioned survivor of the demon attack, and is now a demon herself. She puts Erling Haaland to shame with how hard she kicks. I can see her playing for Liverpool. Anyway, from the get-go, producers kind of force-feed you how adorable and pure she is and how you must love her. And it fucking works! I am emotionally invested in her survival and her protection, and I will murder any damn pixel that tries to do her harm. That's my way of letting you know how silly I sound, and I can definitely realize that real life is way more important than a cartoon character. Sort of. Anyway, she doesn't talk much, but she does make noises like this. Another character that I have to mention is Inosuke. He is the definition of every Irish person in every Irish movie ever fucking made. He's a fucking nutcase. He's just insane. There is not much else to say. Like, I don't think psych wards have a word for his condition because they haven't discovered his level of insanity yet. The best way to describe him is like, and multiply that by 1,000. Like, at first I hated him, and I hated him with a passion, but as the story develops, you kind of discover he's pure the most and fears almost nothing because of his insanity, and you start to fall in love with him, and he sort of becomes best friends of Tanjiro as long as it benefits him. Anyway, he wears a boar mask, and that's really all I know about him. He sounds like this. Next up is, now bear with me on this one, Zenitsu Agatsuma. And this one is very easy for me to describe off the bat because he's me. He's a hopeless romantic. The key word in that line being hopeless. Ladies, hit me up. I have an accent. But seriously, this guy is terrified of everything. He screams a lot. He cries, but he's a badass. And it's hard to describe. Alright, but if you scare him enough, he passes out, and the best way to describe it is his inner badass Chad version comes to life, and he starts stacking up body counts in the blink of an eye. Literally in the blink of an eye. He's like the definition of taking someone with a pinch of salt, because when he's not in his Chad version, he's really annoying and hard to listen to, but you tolerate him, because you know what he's capable of doing, and you cannot wait to see it again. Unfortunately, this is what he sounds like.
邪魔するんだ。お前には関係ないだろ。
Next on the list is... yeah, good luck, pal. I'm gonna call him Steve for this segment, because if I try to pronounce that, I'm going to jail. Somehow I'll have said something very offensive in Japanese, so Steve is gonna have to do. Now, Steve, when you first meet him, is obnoxious, and he's hard to listen to, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, are you in for a fucking treat with this fella. He turns out to be one of the most awesome characters I've seen in any show, and not just anime, across the board. He is phenomenal. Like, it is insane how fast you fall in love with this character. This actually remains one of the only characters in any anime or show that has made me cry out loud. He's just a fucking animal, and in the best way possible. I can't go into too much more detail for you without spoiling the entire show and that angry mob of Demon Slayer fans coming to kill me, you know? So, he's just fucking phenomenal. Next up is Gayu Tamioka. Nailed it. It's really hard to go into detail on this guy because there isn't much on him yet. He's like a mysterious shadow that we all know is good. He's the original Demon Slayer that gave Tanjiro a chance to save his sister instead of executing her. Remember when I told you that literally 3 minutes ago? We've seen little snippets of him fighting, and I imagine when he finally gets his story, there's probably going to be some incredible fight scenes, some badass moments, because this show does not lack on those. It is phenomenal. But it's important to note that this anime wouldn't exist if he just killed Nezuko. I mean, the anime wouldn't exist if the writer decided to kill her, because I know anime is not real life. So I can tell the difference, and I'm not obsessed. But yeah, anyway, he's an important character that isn't really important yet. Does that make sense? Next up is Muzan Kibutsuji. Kibutsuji. Yeah, and he is the main demon. The reason all of this started, the one that all the Demon Slayers are after. Anyway, there really isn't much to say about this guy apart from the fact that through perfect animation and voice acting, you can really sense the unnatural evil he is formed from. Like, in terms of villains, he's so good at being the bad guy that you almost actually like him. Does that make sense? It is insane how someone can be so evil and angry while never changing from a calm demeanor. Anyway, he's a prick and really, really bad. To be honest, I could rumble on for hours about so many different characters, and I'm sure someone is going to get angry because I didn't mention specific characters they find to be important, but I actually have to use some of the time in this project to give credit to the show. To credit it, I have to insult it. If you are new to anime, do not watch this show. Do not watch Demon Slayer. Watch other shows first. Anything else. Because if you start with Demon Slayer, you probably won't watch anything else. It is, in my opinion, the best anime out there, from the art style, to the voice acting, to the storytelling, and the damn emotional connections you develop in a fucking nanosecond. They will leave you feeling empty when you have to wait for another season of the show, which I'm currently fucking doing. Anyway, if you enjoyed my ramblings about Demon Slayer, I wonder what made me work on this project is because of fucking Electron. I stream every day on Kick, and if we hit our sub goal, whoever hit it gets to pick the topic of my next long form video. Electron chose Demon Slayer, saying, and I quote, "It might be hard to do with copyright issues." No shit. Anyway, Electron, thank you for sponsoring this video. If you guys would like to see more, make sure to pop over to my stream on Kick. It's FridgesTV on Kick, and say hello. If you like the video, leave a like and comment, and fucking subscribe already. I'll probably have another pointless topic to talk about next week. Peace out, dweebs.